What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Wellness Playbook. My name is Chris. Sometimes they call me KG. Sometimes they call me Cosmic Cage. It varies depending on who knows me.
My name is Mackenzie, aka Mac, aka Coach Mac.
Coach Mac.
Kenzo the Honcho.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got fucking around, bro. Hi, my name is Jamal. People call me Jamal.
J Black.
Mr. Welcome. Community is very important to me. Community engagement, bringing partnerships, bringing people together. And part of the podcast today for us is really sharing the love of mental health, our journeys, our experiences, our lifestyles, and how we've engaged with each other and how we've developed as people. And we really want to take this space today, take this time, and take this period of a podcast as well to really share our journeys and help people learn how we've navigated life. And for everyone else, I would say the same as well. For you to get out of this podcast, that we're not trying to say how things should be or that we've lived a perfect life. And I certainly have not. And I really want for us, especially that's why I love Fourth Down, is our opportunity to say, hey man, I tried it this way. It didn't work. Maybe it did work. But you can decide for yourself, hey, do we take this advice? Do we listen to this person? You can also engage with us and say, I want to ask this question. That's what Fourth Down is for. How do we move forward from our lives? But host game is when I put you on game, right? And I'm going to tell you guys, this is what I actually think, but a little bit unfiltered. So,
Are you ever filtered?
filtered, man. I work in politics, so I'm definitely filtered.
Well, politics right now ain't the most filtered.
Yeah. But welcome to the Wellness Playbook. Thank you so much for doing this.
I work as a recreation specialist, specifically with instructing in swimming. I teach children, people of all ages, varying from all the way down to toddlers, infants, all the way up to people 62 years old. And mental health is just really important to me. I mean, when you think about the mind, body, and soul, the mind is probably one of the most important parts. Like, if your mind is not right, you're not gonna get through anything. And just this podcast culminating with all of our journeys and how we handle things ourselves. You know, one of the beauties of this podcast is we don't try to present ourselves as the perfect people. Like, we've all been through things. We're not perfect, and we've been through a lot. And we try to explain, how did we get through this thing? Or how are we getting through this thing? Because things could happen even right now. We can still go through things currently. And I would say my favorite segment would have to be First Down, that introduction into not only what we're getting into throughout the podcast, but also introducing ourselves somewhat, introducing pieces of ourselves and our observations of the world, observations of ourselves has to 100% be my favorite segment. And just my favorite thing about this podcast, 100% just sharing human experiences to as many people as we possibly can and trying to help them.
Currently, I'm a health coach. And as we know, a lot of the stuff that goes on with you physically and mentally are tied. And in my years as working as a health coach, I've seen the importance of your mental health and how that affects the quality of your life, how it affects your mindset, how it affects the people you choose to have around you. And it is something that obviously has been such a big conversation now, but growing up, you've seen the importance of it throughout your life when you reflect and look back, and it becomes a big part of your identity. It becomes a big part of the decisions you make, and you know, just the course, the way your life goes. And like I said, if we can help one person, whether it's 100 or 50, I know I did my part in trying to help society and the community. So it's just to share experiences, share our thoughts on things, try to help people. Obviously, I played sports, played football, really, you know, getting hurt, you know, you have to be mentally strong to come back, play through injuries, you know, so there is some stuff that you have to break down in terms of how the mental affects your physical and, like how you said, spiritually. All right, so obviously we know that we all played some sports, right? You did some swimming, you did some football, I did football as well. So we wanted to make sure.
Too, man.
Loosely. 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 So we wanted to make sure, as you can see, the name of the podcast is the Wellness Playbook, and we wanted to tie sports into mental health as well. So as we discuss, each segment is going to have some tie to sports. The first segment today is vital or viral. Today we're not going to have a video, but usually we have a video. It's a trending topic, something that's going on in today's society. You know, it doesn't always have to be right now too. Sometimes we'll refer back to some older videos because context is different, right? Something 5 years ago might have looked, wild. It looks good now when we talk about like the Kyrie episode or other things like that. So it might reflect back. So after we do that, we go into first and 10. For those who don't know, football, first and 10 is the first play of the game after the kickoff. It sets the tone for the drive. Obviously you're trying to score touchdowns, but it is kind of the most important play to start the drive in the series, and it sets your mindset. And that's what we're going to do. After we play the video, we're generally going to go over like the topic at hand. We're going to discuss what we think about the video, our personal thoughts on it. It's just really a reaction based off the video. So today, obviously, there's no video, but what I wanted to ask y'all is, who are you behind your titles or your roles? Who would you describe yourself as outside of that?
I'm still figuring it out, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
But that might be an answer for real.
Yeah.
Honestly, it doesn't. It changes, right?
Yeah,
it's not something that's constant.
It's funny because we all different ages and different parts of our lives.
Yeah.
I can tell you, like, even though the conversation we just had about age and time, like, I am still figuring that out because as I'm like transitioning my career right now, the way I describe myself becomes a little more difficult because, especially when the work you do is getting erased by everything around you and by people around you, bringing people together, families, communities, and suddenly this is the thing that's not acceptable.
Yeah.
And so if you ask me, like, how do I introduce myself, what I leave out, what do I say, I don't know anymore, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like, I don't even know sometimes if it's viable to even continue my career the way I do it, because I spent my whole life doing it. And in 1 second, you can see how much people in this country sometimes just change their minds about what they find as good, what they find as agreeable, what they find as other people. So what I introduce myself as is just someone trying to figure out life. And I'm honest about it with anyone I meet, bro, because I don't know anything anymore. So
do you feel like there's a difference though between your purpose and your career?
oof, shit.
It's real, cause right? It's some real stuff, right?
I think now I do. I didn't before. I didn't before.
Okay.
But it's like it goes back to what I'm saying. Like, before, I think my purpose and my career always went together because I believe Dr. King, I believe the moral arc of this universe bends towards good and right. I don't believe that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So my purpose and my career I don't believe it goes together anymore because I'm trying to figure out how to live life and survive, but how to still be a good person, how to still do the right thing, because right now it doesn't seem like doing the right thing is profitable at all. And it goes back to one of the segments we had, is being real good, it's being real rewarding, it's being real profitable.
Yeah.
So, shit, good question, man. I can't tell you, man.
Yeah.
I don't know anymore. There's a distance between, dissonance, that's what you say, sorry.
But that's why I asked that, because it's very important, because I think a lot of times people do marry the two together, and it can work. It can.
Yeah.
But people have to understand that you don't have to, right? You can have a career and then you can have a purpose. It could be two different things. Like, you go to work, you do a 9 to 5. Afterward, you go help out the community. You go speak. You do engagements. You do charity work. So like,
yeah.
I think we all kind of, based on our careers, what we're doing, we kind of reflect our purpose in our work. And then we're seeing society, how that's kind of shifting that, and we have to adjust to it. So it's not a bad thing.
I know. I hear you, but I used to always resent that. You know what I'm saying? I always did. I always believed your career, your passion should be your purpose. And today I'm just saying, like, I don't know if I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I see what you're saying, man. Like, good question. Good fucking question, bro. So,
yeah, real.
not perfection, progress.
Progress over perfection.
Yeah.
What do you think, Mackenzie?
I would say beyond like my titles and roles, I'm still like a blank slate, like a blank canvas still being painted. Like some things are slowly being figured out. But so far from what I figured out, I'm far more like family oriented than probably like the average person. But as time goes on, I'm trying to figure out more and more about myself beyond family, beyond just, you know, being a calm and chill person, and actually trying to go out more, you know?
I think it's like, especially at your age, I think that's a part of your experience is figuring out who you are right now. You know what I mean? It's
Enjoy
important.
it, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. You rush to figure out who you are when you're young. I'm not gonna lie. Enjoy it, bro.
Yeah.
Enjoy. It sounds a little scary and a little, you know. I wish I could do it over again. I'm not gonna lie. I do.
It's experiences. That's where you have like your most craziest spontaneous experiences, you know? Life is crazy. And you learn a lot of your biggest lessons.
Yeah.
You know, like, so it is important. And that makes sense that you're like
Glad you said
painting that
man.
canvas. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. Thank you.
Yeah. And it's entertaining and interesting for me because naturally I call myself a health coach because there's this negativity and stigma attached to personal training and personal trainers, right? So there's the one thing where it comes to like, they think that they cheat and they always having sex with a bunch of their clients and like all of this stuff that's wilding. And then there's the other trainers that are just going there and just like destroy people's bodies, that are just there to like, I'm just here to kick your ass. I'm gonna make you do a bunch of burpees and all that stuff. And so like I've had to be forced to be something other than my title in order for my career to even be anything, right? So I had to show that I actually really care about this person in front of me. It's not about just the dollar amount. And then showing my personality, showing that, you know, that you can have fun in this process, right? That you don't have to just go through this boring, killing yourself throughout workouts all the time. And showing how it reflects into all your different aspects of your lives. So when people sit there and be like, oh, personal trainer, I think I am much more than that. And I think that was a big thing when it comes to like my role and my title, and showing people that personal training expands more to just the 1 hour training session. You had to say something?
No, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I remember, because remember, it's a pandemic where I started training with you. I had about 3 trainers before, right?
Yeah.
And they were my boys too. One of them used to coach me in boxing, the other one used to coach me in something else, MMA and shit. And I could tell you, I remember the one thing I remember with training with you is I was struggling to like continue to exercise, continue programming. And for me, it was you understanding and explaining the psychology of why you work out and the importance of doing it and continuing it. And then also laying it back to how it affects your life. It was not personal training.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was really life coaching a little bit, man. Because like I remember the one time I was like, yo, this shit isn't working. I was frustrated, bro.
Yeah.
And this nigga was like, yo, chill, bro. It's gonna happen. It's gonna like, and he's like, this is a mental step to get to where you need to be. Are you taking those steps? That's what we're done. That I took from fitness and put it in all parts of my life. The idea of me assessing remember I used to assess myself every week? Yeah. I took that to my job, bro. I have people assess me as well. Like if I work with someone, I assess all my jobs. Like 1 month, how am I managing this project properly? Tell me, all anonymous. Don't even give me your name who told me this. Give me an anonymous assessment. I love doing it now, and it's helped your production so much. So like, I love what you're saying, man. Like, it really is true. It's a very different way of doing personal training. It really is. So good job to you, man.
Nah, I appreciate it.
I'm chiseled for this shit.
Yeah. Well, I have another question just to piggyback off that. Since that we talk about like roles and a lot of this stuff, how do you think mental health had tied into your job? Because we talk about your roles. So how did mental health what effects have it had on your mental health? Because you just said you're in a struggle point right now with your life, and you say you're figuring out yours. So it's clearly something that's tied to it, and like how that could help people going forward.
I would.
The face this guy had, right? What the frick? I'm talking to him with his duck lips, bro. I'm like,
because my whole job is mental health, bro. Like, everything I did in my whole career is about mental health for the Black community, mental health for communities that are impoverished, students, and so like mental health right now is just the biggest part of it, bro. Like, I just remember like one of my first students I worked with, bro. This kid used to just, as a little black boy growing up in like LES, no one understood this kid. He just used to punch and fight. And everyone was just so frustrated. I remember his name. I hope this kid is still good, bro. Pulled him aside one day when I was still in the program. And I was like, what's good, bro? Jerry, what you doing, bro? He's like, yo, man. Hey, wow, now. Find out what he actually told me is, the reason why he acts up is because he couldn't read when he's in 3rd grade, 4th grade. And so he acted out so he wouldn't have to go read in front of everyone. And for me to talk to him and bring him aside meant so much to him. And then he started behaving a lot better, bro. Come to me when he needs to do the segments. And that's when I found out, like for us, like the way we carry ourselves in our careers, our lives, we do similar things. We perform in a certain way that's aggressive or angry. Because our mental health, oh God, it's like
I know,
so
I was gonna
good.
say, the sun is starting to come out right now.
So, like, that for me was a combination of why mental health is important, especially for youth, kids, people in our community. I'm Caribbean, we don't give a fuck about mental health a lot, but we think we gotta get together and go on.
Okay.
Yeah, Superman.
Yeah.
So for me, my whole career is centered around it. My whole livelihood is centered around it. I work a lot with suicide prevention, especially with youth and kids. And when you see a youth tell you about their life and not want to live anymore, it kind of changes you, bro. Like, why is a child telling you this? So mental health is important every day. So
yeah. What about you?
I would say, as far as like early on, especially like when I worked as a lifeguard for the city, like mental health wise, like I found, I would say like community with my fellow lifeguards, and not only community, but fulfillment. Like I was out there like actually rescuing people, saving people. Like I helped a woman with her seizure. We helped somebody with a heat stroke. Like there was so many different things, right? And as mental health wise, like that was a really fulfilling job. The problem with that was, after you have a job of actually saving lives, then you go to another lifeguarding job where you're in a high-rise building, nobody to save, you're bored out of your mind, you're by yourself. Like I was mentally caged.
Yeah.
Just being in a building by myself, nobody talked to, nothing. And to go from that to then go to being a coach of the swim team, and then interacting with all different types of people, other coaches, having to coach the kids and all of that, and to see them progress and actually get better. That's probably near as much fulfillment as I've had since being a lifeguard, and actually motivating these kids. Because like, as far as like mental health, as far as what I work with, you're dealing with the mental health of these kids. Like you as a coach can either motivate, like cultivate motivation for these kids to swim, or straight up break it. And like the amount of coaches that I've seen so far break the motivation of these kids to the point where some of these kids just don't like swimming is actually like sad.
What do they do?
Sometimes they're just too hard on the kids.
I see.
Like sometimes, don't get me wrong, sometimes the kids fool around. But at the end of the day, you can't be too hard on them, because you're gonna kill their motivation to swim. They're not gonna want to swim anymore at all. And they're probably only coming because their parents. So then eventually when they turn into teenagers, like 15, 16 years old, you're barely gonna see them. They're gonna start cutting practice. They're gonna start trying to go elsewhere instead of actually coming into the water and exercising. It's gonna happen. Like just recently, I saw a kid from another team who I used to coach. He used to love swimming. Like, don't get me wrong, he used to fool around, but he loved swimming. He was motivated.
Yeah.
Like, he was so motivated to the point where when he started seeing kids who used to be the same speed as him moving up, he was like, damn, why did they get to go in that lane? I'm like, look, you just gotta focus and you'll be in the same one. Lo and behold, a year later now, I'm speaking to him. I'm like, hey, you don't seem like you're motivated anymore. He's like, no, I'm not. I'm like, you don't like swimming anymore? And he's like, no, I don't like it. But when you see the way how like certain people talk to him when it comes to swimming, even his own teammates, it's like, who would be motivated anymore? So it's not only just my mental, but trying to make sure that the kids that I'm coaching stay motivated and don't get discouraged by even failing. Because I try to encourage them even when they're failing. I just, look, you didn't do it right. You just gotta learn from that, and that applies to almost everything.
So, do you feel like there's a struggle to push people to keep motivated, but also keep them accountable, or keep them,
I think the struggle is more so making sure that when they mess up, it doesn't break them.
Okay.
I think that's the biggest struggle.
That's what you're saying.
Because sometimes, sometimes when we're doing a drill and like the other kids are doing it properly and like one kid is lagging behind, that could crush them.
Are these kids of color too?
Huh?
These kids of color?
It varies. We have kids of all different races.
Okay.
So far.
Interesting take, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you sharing that though. Because I can see the reason why I asked for kids of color. I can see, for especially in our community, perfection, get it right, swim right. We don't swim a lot anyway.
That's the stereotype right there.
It's funny because you started this shit, right? My first time I learned to swim was in college, bro, and I was like, I didn't want to swim. I was like, it's an elective. I need 2 credits. And they
had swim class as an elective in college?
Yes.
What the hell? What the frick am I hearing?
Bro, she's like, oh, come on, Jamal, you can swim 15 foot deep, 25 feet deep end. She's like, just jump in. Jumped in this shit, started dying, bro. So I was saved by a black lifeguard. I was like, that was lit. I was like, I appreciate you, my G, bro. Like, seen this thing on campus at party. I'm like, you want a drink? Saved my life, bro. Black lifeguard. See this nigga on campus all the time, mad cool, bro. I'm always like, you saved my life. Drunk as hell all the time. Like, but that was my swim story. My first time swimming. And here's the thing.
She told you to jump in. What the hell?
Yeah, that's my second week. Because she had a bunch of people on the team were swimmers, and they were in the collective of the class. I wasn't. I said, I never swam. She's like, you're from the Caribbean. I'm like, that's racist.
that's so dumb. There's so many people that live inland and don't live near water.
I hate that stereotype.
That stereotype's so dumb.
Yeah.
How you gonna swim?
People live in the mountains.
To make it worse, you from Guyana. Like, only how much percent of Guyana live by the shore?
I mean, we got a lot of water. I should have. I'm not gonna lie. My mom tried when I was a kid. I just didn't want to learn because the water's in Guyana. It's not blue, bro. Like, it's a lot of our water. I forgot what it's called. They're black lagoons.
Oh.
Don't get me wrong. That shit's gorgeous, but like, I'm terrified of shit in water, bro.
Now we're gonna transition into the third down. For any of you that may have watched football, third down is the middle segment or the high point at sometimes. We'll be going into basically personal backgrounds and as far as moments that may have forged us. To relate it to sports, I would say in this middle ground, we'll be basically going into the heart of who we are and basically what made us. And when you go into a third down in football, leading up to that moment, there are a lot of things that happen for a third down to happen. There's a second and there's a first. You may have had a first drive with a running back. May have had a second drive where the QB almost got hit. And then you're now in the midsection where third down could determine anything. If the third down doesn't go right, you may have to punt it.
Mm-hmm.
If the third down does go right, you could probably go for it on fourth, or you start a new down. So to start it off, let's just basically go briefly into our personal backgrounds. Whoever would like to start.
I can start. Personal background. Originally born in Trinidad. yes, Trini to the bone. Moved to this country at a young age. Obviously, family moved here with the promise of the American dream, right? Maybe I shouldn't say this on camera. ICE might be trying to track me. Yeah. But I am a legal citizen.
Wow. What if someone can't prove that?
Yeah, shoot. But yeah, like a lot of my upbringing, obviously I was raised by my grandma, so it was a very old school Caribbean upbringing. A lot of that has shaped my perfectionism as I've aged, but a lot of those principles have been important in my life, and she's put me in a lot of programs. Like I went away to sleepaway camps, sports program. I used to go to Sunday school every Sunday. I used to go to steel band practice every Saturday. Like I had no life as a kid.
Yeah.
Like it was just after school programs, all that stuff. But a lot of that stuff now has structured a lot of stuff I do now. Like the stuff with the music, I make playlists, right? The stuff with fitness, I did sports growing up, I'm doing fitness now. So I'm grateful for my upbringing and how that had, and my culture, and how that built the person I am today. I'm also very happy that I grew up in the time period I had where I've had some American influence as well, where I understand the balance of like mental health, knowing when to like understand yourself, not pushing yourself too much, knowing when to, hold back a little bit. So that balance of having that strict Caribbean old school upbringing, but also having that American world where it's like, you have to have that balance in life. So both of those have been very important and crucial to who I am.
And you, Jamal?
I mean, I was gonna think you would go. You're Trini too, No. I'm Guyanese, man. I'm a little different from both of you because I think you came when you were like 7, right?
Younger than that.
Younger.
What?
Yeah, he came when he was 2.
Yeah, a little kid.
Balls. Yeah. Damn, you got me.
That was actually a good one.
You got me. That's an Epstein one too.
Yo, Epstein jokes, ice jokes. This is a wild start.
All right, sorry. So no, I came here when I arrived in America at 15 years old. It's very like I always say, especially working in education and politics, it's just I notice it so much, the difference of like being born here and not being born here. And I noticed the good and the bad because like I love that I was educated in Guyana, but I also hate that I wasn't. It's like what I was explaining to someone the other day. Can you name slave rebellions in America?
Nat Turner.
But can you name actual rebellions today's? Are you educated? Can a white person name that? Anyone? Can you name a slave rebellion in America, like as detail, like how you know the revolution?
I know Nat Turner's in 1838. There was a slave revolt by Congolese slaves in the 1730s. John Brown led a revolt, but I don't think he had slaves with him. I think he had freed slaves. He was 1859. Some people count the Civil War as a slave revolt because slaves were revolting in different ways, as slaves were running away and trying to like join the Union to fight to free themselves. So.
Do you feel like that's a conventional knowledge for most Americans?
Yeah, did you learn that in school?
Hell no.
That's it.
It's required knowledge. It's part of your testing in life. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's part of the curriculum. Like you have to remember them, how many people died, the days, the years, how often it happened to. You learn that slave rebellions happen in one plantation sometimes within a year, about 17 times. and how much the English had to retaliate. And so like it was a very different way to learn, to come to America to learn and hear people in the college teach you a different way. So that's for me, like, I loved. But also like one thing we didn't learn in Guyana was critical thinking very well, philosophy, engagement of like your own perspective. No one asked you what you thought in Guyana. They only taught you. So like I loved American education because like people ask you, how do you think about this? So for me, my personal background here is just, it's interesting. I loved it because like I was very fortunate to be educated in Guyana, but also educated here. And so yeah, I grew up in Guyana. Like I talked about the Caymans before, bro. I love animals, but then you're like,
except Caymans.
Except Caymans.
No, Caymans is scary, bro. Like y'all don't get it. It is terrifying, bro. Caymans is scary.
Nah.
I love animals. I one time had 11 dogs in Guyana, bro. Like, but no, Guyana to the bone. I don't know if that's a thing. Curry chicken curry, whatever y'all call it.
Remember when he said the Christmas episode? He said black to the bone, black to the bone, black to the bone.
Yeah, but no, like that's just it for me, man. Flatbush.
Flatbush.
Yep. Eho.
And and then for me, I am of Trinidadian descent. I was born here, but my family's mostly from Trinidad. Obviously, my cousin is Christian, and I was born in Flatbush, mostly raised in Crown Heights and in between Flatbush and Crown Heights. But I come from more of a, I would say, reformed Caribbean upbringing. Whereas you saw a lot of our grandmother's old school mixed in with our discipline from our aunt, with my mother's reformed new way Caribbean upbringing. It sort of forged me to be who I am now. It took a lot of reflecting prior to me even being born to where my upbringing was forged. Whereas, you know, my mom saw the way how, the old school rigid way, how they were raising Christian and started to basically pick apart and edit ways on how to do that. Whereas for me growing up, she basically was trying to teach me to think for myself and also do things for myself. Like I was starting to do laundry with her at 10. Like she would bring me with her and have me watch her do the laundry. Then at 11, she started having me help her with the laundry. Then at 12, I had to do the laundry myself. I had to carry the cart down the steps, go to the laundromat around the corner, do that myself. And even going to middle school, I had to critically think for myself, all right, how do I get, like, what's the easiest way to get to my aunt's job? All right, now what's the easiest way to get me to swim practice? Like, it was a strict upbringing in certain aspects, but also an upbringing that allowed me to cultivate to be an adult and think for myself and do things for myself. Like there's one big problem in my generation specifically. There's too many of us that can't do things for ourselves because almost everything was done for us. There wasn't an environment cultivated for us to where we were able to do things for ourselves. And I think, like, I really do applaud, you know, our family for doing that for us. Because there's a lot of things now, the way how we structure certain things that just, you just thinking like, wow, like my upbringing really did this for me.
Yeah.
So shout out to you, Mom.
Shout out.
Welcome back, y'all. It's Jamal here, your boy, as you know. All right, this section, I should say, is fourth down. If you don't know fourth down in football, it is the risky segment, okay? This is a segment where you can go for it. If you lose, you give it back to the team. If you win, you continue the drive to score. So fourth down for us is us sharing our personal connections to the topic we're discussing at hand. And for today, our topic is, you guys ready for this one? We discussed this a little bit. What are you still trying to figure out about life right now? This is your fourth down. You're a give and go. If you don't get this, you lose, you move on with life. What are you still trying to figure out about your life? What do you show? I mean, for all of this.
Mackenzie, you want to go first? Seemed like you got a
For
thought.
me,
You see it, right?
For me, honestly, I'm just trying to figure out the direction. Because as of right now, I'm in a decent place. Like mentally, I'm good. I got a job, you know what I'm saying? And like family-wise, me and my family are good. It's just now I'm just trying to figure out what direction do I go from here. Because at the end of the day, you don't really try to stay stagnant. You only try to go up. And I'm just trying to figure out, you know, where do I go from here? Do I become a recreation manager? Do I leave this field and then pursue another? Do I become an entrepreneur and start my own swimming school or start my own swimming lessons? So I would just say for that. But as far as my mental health journey, just trying to figure out how to encourage others to be in a good mental space, similar to how I am. And also encouraging the kids that I teach to be in a good, healthy space to where they're constantly motivated, not whether or not even with swimming, but outside of that.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with me.
It's funny how we're at interesting points of our careers, or different timelines of our careers, but mine is still the same. It's just, I'm still trying to figure out what is most viable for me. You know what I mean? Like, is it staying in my career field? Is it transitioning to like corporate? Is it doing this? Like, I don't know. As much as it's different timelines, I'm struggling with the same topic. But mental health wise, it's a little different. I think it's, for me, romantically, it's trying to love without the apprehension of my past, you know, which is a little sad, you know. But it's really trying to figure out what is good for you at this age, and what is for you at this age, I think. And I was telling him just now, I'm finally at this place in my life where I just don't give a shit no more, and I love it. I love it as my mental health. As a black man, I can't wait to tell people, like, because like, if you know you're good, you're doing good, you're trying to be a good person, you know all the time you're gonna be worried about how you're perceived. And as a black dude, you're just told so often what to be. I just don't care anymore. That's my mental health journey.
And I would say it's interesting because it's like, I think we're always trying to figure something out. I think there's never a point in your life where you actually are certain. And that's one thing I've realized, especially in my career field, because when I went to go do my undergrad, I didn't know what I want to do in my career. I picked sports management because I was like, I kind of want to be around sports. I finished my school. When it was time to do internship, I was like, yo, which place is going to allow me to do a bunch of stuff because I don't know what I want to do still. Then I shift all the way to fitness, right? Then I was like, okay, I want to be a strength and conditioning coach. Then I was like, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to go more to like recovery, rehabilitation science. Then I'm like, now I want to do podcasts. So like, I think like for me, I'm just letting life guide me. It's like I'm on the ocean, right? I'm following the current, but I'm being smart. I'm looking out ahead. I'm embracing life. I'm learning the experiences, because there's so much shifts that happen in life that you just got to be able to respond to it. I think it's more important if that's what I actually know versus than what I don't know. So what I know is that my mindset, my thought process, all that stuff is good, so that when everything around me isn't consistent, that I can stay consistent in that, and that would always lead me in the right direction. So that's how I feel about figuring things out. I'm always going to be figuring something out.
See why you're a life coach, bro. I'm listening. I'm getting motivated.
It was so funny because like my clients, they be doing a workout, right? They're dying, and then I would say something. They're like, God damn it! And it was like, you always got something to say, man. I'm like, listen, I do it for a living. What you think? So yeah.
Because like there's I don't know if it's a Buddhist statement or not. It's just don't swim upstream. That's what I got from what you said, man. Like that's the biggest thing I learned from like getting older, being an uncle.
You embracing it. He embracing it. Finally, he said it himself.
Don't swim upstream.
You kind of started in the next segment.
That's exactly it. Thank you. Yeah, that is exactly. Thank you very much. So post game, this is our final segment. This is a segment where we get to be unfiltered. We, as you say in Brooklyn, go the fuck off. You know? go off. What's on your chest that you want to talk about? What's bothering you? What about this topic really gets on your gears, bro? This is my segment. This is a segment I really enjoy. Wait, not my segment. This is a segment I love, I should say. Is post game. And post game right now, the question we have for this post game: who are you becoming as a person? Are you proud of this person? Who are you becoming as? Who wants it? Your minute. You're in the clock.
I could go first.
Yeah, he said.
So I think I'm kind of proud of who I'm becoming. Like just recently, our aunt visited where I work at the recreation center, and she was basically speaking with all of my coworkers, even when I wasn't there. Pretty much all of them had something nice to say. They were all, and just to have all of those people compliment your aunt, like, yo, y'all did such an amazing job with him. Like to have all those people compliment, all those people compliment the work you do is just amazing. And I'm slowly starting to see that I'm becoming more and more, not better critical thinking wise, but better as a person, trying to be kind. Because a lot of people are like, oh, why be such a nice person? When the reality is, being a nice person, you do it because it's right. You do it because it's the good thing to do. That's what separates the truly good people from the people who are just doing it just to be performative. The people who truly are trying to be good are the people that's doing it because it's good. They don't need no other reason. Altruism. So I'm kind of like that. I'm becoming that.
When I hear this question, I think of this quote from Marcus Aurelius. It's Epictetus. It's just, what progress have I made in my life today? And he says, I begin to be a friend to myself. And if you ask me what I'm becoming, like, perfectionism is a part also of, like, you know, being a Caribbean person, being a black man, I should say. And being a perfectionist often means you are kind to you, but you're quite kind to other people. And when you fail, when you don't do well, when you mess up, even things outside your control. So what progress am I making with myself today? I'm beginning to be a friend to myself. I watch how I talk to myself kindly because I'm the person who lives with myself. And that's a person I love that I'm becoming. I'm at this point in my life right now, I can tell you the opinions of people generally right now don't fucking matter to me anymore. And that's the person I'm becoming now. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that, to piggyback off of that, it's so funny because when I speak to my clients, there's two things I always tell them, right? The first one, when we go into self-love, right? I always say, because once you start your fitness journey, you're gonna fall into some mistakes, you're gonna fall into some stuff where you don't get things, and you're gonna be negative and you're gonna beat yourself up. It's just a constant thing that everyone has to deal with. And part of my job is bringing that positivity into your life. And I just do it through reflection. And what I always tell them is, look at the relationship you have with yourself. You have to have a good relationship with yourself before you have it with anyone else. If you were in a relationship and someone was talking to you the way you talk to yourself, how long would y'all stay in a relationship? And it was like, it wouldn't last a week. You wouldn't even go back on a second date with them. But you're allowing yourself to talk to yourself the worst, and you're the one person you have to be around all the time. So you have to always think about that. You're being so kind to so many people, but look how mean you are to yourself. And that's something I struggled with a lot too. And the thing that I love about my career is it forces me to always look back in the mirror, right? I'm always telling people these positive things. I'm always telling them what they should do and balance in life and things. But now I have to look back and make sure I'm doing those same things. And this is what I also love about this podcast, is that we are talking about mental health. So we always have to keep making sure that we're making progress on our mental health itself. Yeah. So like this, what it does is it forces us to actually have growth, have real conversations about ourselves while trying to help other people. And I think figuring out just who you are, figuring out your purpose, you know, and just being a good, kind person, I think that's the key things to life.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Good job.
Yeah, took this episode
This
deep.
was the Wellness Podcast. I hope you enjoyed. Like, share, subscribe. Appreciate you guys for showing up today. Thank you.